All right, here are some more examples of humans who have chosen to be like animals and use bait and switch. We have news organizations in the United States that everybody calls the left-wing media. Well, the left-wing media is really true. That's not just a cliche. The left-wing media is made up of people who went to universities in the United States. Their head is full of atheism, left-wing ideas that come from their professors. We have communists teaching in universities. In other words, these are stupid, uneducated people. The universities themselves do a bait and switch because people go to universities to learn to be smart, and they come out stupid. And that's a case of bait and switch. But anyway, a lot of these atheist, evolutionist, Marxists are in the news media. And because Marx is a liar, and everybody in the left wing is a liar, the left-wing employees in the news media cannot resist using the media to tell lies to the public. It's a form of bait and switch. When you read newspapers and you go on the internet and you go to news medias, you're expecting to get news. But you're not getting news because they baited you with the idea that you're supposed to be receiving news. But they switch and they start giving you brainwashing. We all experience this just on TV because the left-wing people are all upset about Israel preventing a freedom flotilla from landing and downloading whatever they have onto ships. Well, come to find out, this freedom flotilla is also doing a bait and switch because they aren't the Freedom Flotilla. They used a tricky name. In reality, it's a terrorist organization. Now, the people in the left-wing news are pretending and hoping they fooled you into believing that this was truly a Freedom Flotilla. They're like the fish in the bottom of the ocean with that phony fishing pole, see? See how they're using bait and switch? Well, left-wing people in the left-wing news media, many of whom are Marxists, atheists, evolutionists, all kinds of left-wing trash, they're examples of people who are going to hell. There's no way in the world these liars, these brainwashers, these manipulators are going to be in heaven. Does God want them in heaven? No, He doesn't want these people in heaven. In the book of Revelation, it says that liars will not be in heaven. These people follow Marx. Marx is the king of liars. He taught everybody to lie. Marx and his followers taught everybody to lie in order to overthrow Christian governments. And this is very apparent in the United States when we listen to these fools in the left-wing media trying to brainwash us. Okay, let's move on. How about individual examples of predators? People are going to hell. Well, we all have heard, and it is absolutely true, that Mexican women plan their pregnancies and vacations in the United States so that they can give birth in an American hospital, and guess what happens then? Their children are born Americans, citizens, and the next stop for that woman, Social Security office. She wants American tax money. She's headed for the welfare department. She wants American tax money, demanding it because her child is a citizen. That woman's going to hell. And I doubt very much that God lays claim on that illegitimate child. Okay, let's look at government and how people in government worship the beast. Well, we all know that wars are created to enrich the rich. People manufacture weapons, want war. And these people manufacture weapons. They get contracts from the government to provide the rifles, the guns, the ammunition, the cannons, the jets. In other words, it's a tremendous movement of money out of your checking account, so your savings account as a middle-class worker, into the personal saving account of the people who own the stocks in these manufacturing operations. This is completely predatory. So we cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, think that people who play these games, who actually kill the best people in the United States in wars, these young men and women who are patriotic and God-fearing, sacrificing them in wars that need not be. We cannot imagine these rich families in heaven. Why would God want them in heaven? My goodness, God threw Satan out of heaven when Satan tried to get there. Satan didn't belong in heaven. God threw him out. So these people, these wealthy people who own stock in these manufacturing companies, and they create wars just for the purpose of getting rich. I don't care if they're sitting right next to you. I don't care if they give $1,000 a day to the church. They're going to hell, and the preacher who takes their money is going to hell right along with them. Now, we have an infamous corporation in the United States called Halliburton. This Halliburton Corporation seems to be a private corporation owned by the people in the U.S. government, and it gets no bid contracts, which means that you pay the highest possible prices to pay for whatever Halliburton does. Halliburton is involved with the British petroleum oil spill right now. Well, and Halliburton is in Iraq. Oh, and Halliburton is in Afghanistan. My, Halliburton is everywhere, isn't it? Well, this is very predatory conduct. Again, this is like animals that chase other animals out of their territory so they can eat everything that's there and not share it. Now, when Halliburton set up food cafeterias in war zones like Afghanistan, they charge the soldiers $20 a meal. Or maybe they charge the taxpayers $20 a meal. Regardless, does a hamburger really cost $20? Does a piece of pizza actually cost $20? And here's another thing. The Iraqi people, they're never going to get on their feet unless they have jobs. It's all about jobs. It's always been about jobs. You want to make an Iraqi citizen happy? Give him a job. Did you know that the United States government does not hire Iraqis? No, it doesn't. It hires illegals. It brings in illegals from all over, so they'll work for nothing. Again, this is a way for executives in these corporations who are whores with the U.S. government to make tons of money. They're actually prolonging the war and getting more Americans killed, American soldiers, because these Iraqis are frustrated because they don't have jobs. But the purpose of the war really isn't to do anything except put money into the pockets of these rich people. If they ended the war, they couldn't do that. And that's why the war drags on and on and on for infinity, because your tax dollars are coming out of your wallet and going into the personal accounts of rich people. And like I said before, this is exactly what happened in New Orleans. The illegals were given the jobs. Now, why weren't those poor black folk given jobs? Well, it's so that these contractors could make tons of money. And they really weren't interested in helping New Orleans anyway. And by the way, New Orleans is not in any better shape than it was before because they didn't improve the dams or whatever. They just built them to the way they were. So New Orleans is just waiting for another catastrophe. Despite all the multi-billions of dollars that were given to these rich people New Orleans is still waiting for another catastrophe. Well, looks like we're out of time for now, folks. We'll pick up on this again next week. Thank you for tuning in. Visit our website, twoprophets.org, and learn all about the worship of the beast. And be sure and check out my book at lulu.com. Tune in to other exciting talks that are upcoming. blogtalkradio.com. Folks, we interrupt our talk to tell you about the most important book in modern history for every Christian who wants to go to heaven. This is a book, a one and only book, that identifies the man, the present world leader, who is the beast of the book of Revelation. This is because this book has 2,000 years of reconstruction of Bible translation history. And this was necessary in order to rediscover the original mark of the beast that was in the first Bibles. This is lost information, folks. Why is this important to you? Because it identifies the man who is the beast of Revelation. And you know what the book of Revelation says. The people who follow this man are going to hell. You don't want to go to hell. You remember the parable of the sleeping virgins. Half of Christians will be asleep when Jesus returns, so they won't have eternal life. Those are very bad odds. You don't want to play the odds with your eternal life. So get this book. Go right now to www.lulu.com/Edward McKinney and get this book.